not gonna stand here and pretend that I haven't been, frankly, absolutely horrible to the Nissan Frontier since I started reviewing cars on this channel about 2 years ago.
Kind of like the Nissan Frontier has its own unique identity for being trash.
Yeah, to be honest with you, the old Frontier was kind of an easy joke, especially considering that it was so old, paleontologists regularly discovered things buried deep within the earth that were younger than the Nissan Frontier.
We just dug up a new skeleton.
Nissan knew that if they were going to claim that the Frontier was back, that it was once again competitive within its segment, then they had better get it right. And not just like copied your homework right, like actually authentically right. So, did they succeed? Well, that's what we're here to find out. What's going on, everyone? Jax here, and today I am with the all-new 2022 Nissan Frontier. Let me start off by addressing the bed bars in the room. This is the Pro X model, not the Pro 4X model, which actually has off-road chops. This is basically a fully loaded two-wheel drive Nissan Frontier playing four-wheel drive dress-up. You know, like your one friend who thinks a diff lock is some kind of fraternity hazing ritual.
Blue, you're my boy!
But let's try to look past that, and instead let's focus on what we all know the Nissan Frontier can be, while simultaneously acknowledging that there are people out there who are currently ordering their Nissan Frontiers to look exactly like this.
What do you want? I say he's guilty.
And guys, don't get me wrong, I'll be the first to admit that I kind of like Nissan's whole bed bar aesthetic on the Titan and here on the Frontier. On the Frontier's kind of conservative styling, I think the bed bars look pretty sick. If this were a Pro 4X model, I think it would look pretty damn good, to be honest with you. It's one of the more handsome trucks in the segment, and unlike the GMC Canyon that I just tested, which cost more than this, we'll get to that later, this Nissan Frontier has LED lighting all the way around. The headlights, the running lights, the taillights, and on the sides of the bed, which is a really useful feature. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's a million times better looking than the old Nissan Frontier. I mean, just look. Ugh. Okay, so maybe the dress up goes a little too far, equipping a two-wheel drive truck with a front skid plate, Bilstein off-road shocks, and front tow hooks, which you're probably going to need. Not to mention aggressive metal side steps for a small pickup truck that's like riding about as high as a tall sedan. But if you're nodding in agreement while M-Line, AMG, GT Sport, N Sport, whatever trim sits in your driveway, then guess what? You're the problem. And you're still gonna need these tow hooks. But my favorite aspect of this truck is right here under the hood. The 3.8-liter V6 makes 310 horsepower and 281 pound-feet of torque, all routed through an excellent 9-speed automatic transmission. If the Canyon's ride was best in class, the Frontier's powertrain is best in class. It makes the truck feel light and lively, and it's just a joy to drive on an everyday basis. I mean, truly, it is a lot of fun. This is an epic powertrain for such a small truck. Is there a downside? Well, that joy to drive comes with a little bit of a miles per gallon penalty.
I don't care!
I didn't see much over like 20 miles per gallon. That was doing a lot of kind of suburban stop and go driving. But how does the ride and handling stack up against the aforementioned GMC Canyon? Yes, here we are behind the wheel of the 2022 Nissan Frontier, and immediately you're probably noticing one thing is that my arms seem to be stretching out of the frame, and that's because the driving position, if you're tall, is not great because the steering wheel doesn't telescope, which is like the #1 oversight in this whole car. No, I mean truck, of course, truck. It's a truck, guys. But other than that, things are pretty great, starting with the powertrain, a 3.8-liter naturally aspirated V6 making 310 horsepower and 281 pound-feet of torque running through a 9-speed automatic transmission, which I've probably just told you all that already, but it bears repeating because it makes this truck feel so lively and so delightful to drive. And I'm not kidding either. This is a very nice truck to drive every day. The Frontier it gets up to speed so rapidly with so little drama, and the transmission just clicks off the shifts in invisible smooth butteriness, and it's legitimately like quick. I like how the throttle tip in is like kind of aggressive, and it just makes this truck kind of lunge forward off the line. It makes it honestly feel a lot faster than it actually is, but it's just a really pleasant vehicle to live with. I know it's corny to say, but the throttle tip-in is just kind of exciting. It just makes this thing a little bit more of an occasion than an appliance. And I think in this market segment, that's appreciated because these things are appliances. They're meant to do a job, and giving it just, a little bit of character, a little bit of personality is kind of nice in the driving experience. Now, dynamically, the brake pedal is perfectly fine. There's a decent amount of bite when you step on it, but it's just kind of wooden and mushy in its sort of feel. At least it's consistent and at least it's progressive. There's not a lot of firmness to it. It's just kind of deflation style brake pedal, but I got no qualms or no complaints about the stopping power of this truck. And as I've probably mentioned, this is a 2-wheel drive Frontier, but it does have an electronic limited slip differential, I think portioned out by braking, so that's something. And strangely, it has Bilstein off-road shocks, which is what it specifically says on the Moroni sticker. Okay, well, let's see how they do, because we're on the handling road. So going over this first rough patch, body control is really good. The structure feels nice and solid. This is a little bit of a troublesome area for some trucks, and it smooths it out really well. We're going around the first corner, and the truck is not leaning or getting out of sorts. It is very much like the GMC Canyon was, and I lauded that truck's handling ability. That small truck is the best handling small truck in the class. This Nissan is a close second, in my opinion. To be just like kind of ranking style honest with you guys, this is a close second. And the reason it's a close second is coming up because we're about to hit the big bump, and it kind of shows this truck's one sort of handling flaw. There it is. Now, it didn't look bad on camera, I'm sure, but when this truck goes over a large bump, the entire body kind of comes up and down, and there's a little bit of secondary motion, almost like this thing is sprung for extreme off-roading, and it is most decidedly not set up for extreme off-roading. So I don't really understand that, but other than those kind of weird situations, it is a very pleasant driving experience in the Nissan Frontier. Now, the steering is kind of funny because it's like literally the exact opposite of the GMC Canyons. I thought the Canyons was kind of like light and almost like a little bit too fast off-center for a small pickup. This one is incredibly heavy and slow, especially at low speeds. It reminds me a little bit of the Tacoma steering. So I guess you could say it feels more truck-like, but it's definitely pretty slow in kind of parking lot speeds and maneuvers. So if that's your thing, you won't be bothered by it. I would actually love to find something, kind of in the middle, but ergonomically, other than this steering wheel reach, the Frontier is fantastic, really. I really like the inside of the cabin as a place to kind of spend time and live with. That was the vibrating lane keep system, which is a little twitchy. I imagine imagine a lot of you guys are probably gonna turn that off. I like that it vibrates and doesn't beep at you. I find the vibrations to be, I don't know, less annoying, I guess. But this is a good cabin. The telescoping steering wheel issue, I just think that's unbelievably stupid because of how good this interior is. These seats are so comfortable. These seats are fantastically comfortable. I say fantastic a lot, but the Frontier warrants it. But not having the telescoping steering wheel, when you're as tall as I am, I'm 6'6". Hello, regular viewers of the channel who know that. But if you're new and you're watching this for the first time, I'm very tall. And having to reach this far to the steering wheel, it's not like a deal breaker for me. I wouldn't mind it. I could just, keep my hands down low and sort of day-to-day schlepping. But it is an oversight. It is dumb that this steering wheel doesn't telescope, but enough about that. I'm not gonna beat it to death. Other than that, the only drawback in the interior for rear seat passengers is that it's a little tighter, or at least it seems to be a little tighter than some of the competition. Remember, I just had that Canyon. You just saw that review, and if you haven't seen that review, link in the description. Go watch that review. And the girls said they thought the back seat was a little more spacious. Now, keep in mind, Ella is 6'1", and so she's the size of an adult man, and that is not necessarily who you'd be putting in the back seat. But Hallie, who is 12 and 5'8", yes, my 12-year-old's 5'8", she also thought the back of the Frontier was tighter than the Canyon. And that was me kind of adjusting the seat forward for them. So if you have grown people that need to go back there, I don't normally do this in a truck, but let's kind of drop the hammer a little bit just to see. Okay, makes a nice little like V6 noise too. It's not unpleasant. So final thoughts from behind the wheel of the Nissan Frontier. This is the best all-around small pickup truck. There. That's my final thoughts. This is the best all-around small pickup. The engine and transmission is better than the competition. The ride is nearly as good as the Canyon, which is saying something because it's the best. And even though this one is decidedly not ready for off-roading, it's probably close enough to the Tacoma for most people that it would serve all of your needs. So yeah, from the driver's seat, this is the best all around. Inside, the Frontier scores another win.
Baby, you are so money and you don't even know it.
I mean, there's a lot of plastic, but no more than in the competition, honestly. The leather seats are heated, and so is the steering wheel, which is a plus. The 9-inch infotainment is running Nissan's, pretty solid system. It's not like flashy or anything. I mean, I think the graphics are not super attractive, but it's fully featured, it connects quickly, and it works pretty well. There's a 10-speaker Fender audio system, which sounds better than like any small pickup has a right to sound. I cranked it up on the way over here, and I was really surprised. I was gonna say it was good, but I'm interjecting this little extra bit. It's like really good for a small pickup truck. And there's a surround view camera, which is nice for this truck's price, but unfortunately, it's literal trash. Like, the graphics are laughably bad. Seriously, the resolution is so low that when I shifted into reverse, I thought like reruns of Knight Rider were gonna come on the screen.
You shut up.
You also get a sunroof, which the Canyon didn't have. Well, you also get push-button start, which the Canyon didn't have. It's like the last car on Earth to only have a key.
Don't worry about that.
As well as Nissan's very comprehensive suite of safety systems, which are really good. And all joking about the backup camera aside, having a surround view camera and cross traffic alert and all that kind of stuff is very nice. And this is an extremely fully featured truck. So should you buy a 2022 Nissan Frontier? Absolutely you should. Is this the best all-around small pickup truck? I certainly think it is. This truck, as you see it here, costs $44,000, which if you were to add four-wheel drive to it, it would still undercut the GMC Canyon AT4 that I had by about $1,000 or $2. It's better in many ways, nearly as good in ride quality, and it blows all of its competitors out of the water in the powertrain department. The Frontier is freaking awesome. Well done, Nissan. The Nissan Frontier has absolutely earned my respect. And the only real complaint that I have at the end of my week with this truck is, what out-of-date dinosaur of a vehicle am I gonna use to be the butt of all my jokes now? Oh yeah, that might work. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for tuning into the channel. I'd love to know in the comments what you think of the Nissan Frontier. Trucks, especially, more than almost any other vehicle segment, they tend to bring up a lot of kind of strong opinions, we'll say. So what do you think of the Nissan Frontier? Personally, if I was gonna get a small pickup truck, I'd probably still get a Tacoma TRD Pro just because, you know, I'm like that. But what do you think in sort of the landscape of small pickup trucks? Where does the Nissan Frontier sit for you, and does this review do anything to change your opinion? If you like this video, please be sure to like it. Please subscribe to the channel. It really does help. I'd love for you to join this community. Also, consider following me on Instagram, TikTok, and now Twitter. I've had Twitter for a while, but I'm gonna be posting more photos there because apparently photos don't really belong on Instagram anymore. So I guess I'll just put photos of these things on Twitter and maybe you can keep up with me there. In any case, in the meantime, ride safe, drive safe. I hope to see you soon in the next video. All right, peace. God, how many freaking noises can there be? Freaking jets, stupid birds. I hope they go extinct, whatever they are. They're killdeer, by the way. I used to be super into birds as a kid. There's a little fun fact for you. If you made it to the bloopers, comment killdeer. There was one that just flew past me. They think I'm coming after their nests. Are those birds doing it? The Frontier is... What is that? Toyota Tundra making that noise? Did he replace the engine with a 4-cylinder? The heck is wrong with that Tundra? Bro.